More than a year after first separating from Dorrit, Paul P.K. Kemsley seems ready to move on with his life. He was recently spotted out and about with a mystery blonde in New York City. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star isn't letting his complicated divorce stop him from enjoying his free time. Bravo and Cocktails on Instagram shared photos of PK in a white t-shirt and army green coat, which he paired with dark pants and sneakers. The woman with him sported a black motorcycle jacket, jeans, and silver heels. PK Kemsley has been seen with a few women. While Dorrit has said that her focus is on her children, not dating as she navigates her divorce, PK has taken a different approach. His latest sighting comes just weeks after he was accused of flirting with Real Housewives of London star Amanda Cronin, something he denied. Earlier this past spring, he was also seen making out with Shauna Wall, who had attended his wedding to Dorrit. Dorrit and PK's divorce turning into a battle over finances. According to Briefing on Bravo, the couple's divorce has become contentious due to their ongoing financial issues, primarily surrounding tax bills and their $7.9 million home. They've been very secretive about it, but clearly money issues have been plaguing them for some time, and now they are going to war with each other over money, an insider told Life and Style. Dorrit is requesting financial support despite being a full-time Bravo star, and he's hit back and is trying to get a piece of her TV earnings. They are both insisting they're the ones in the right and digging in their heels. Now, their lawyers will have to fight it out, and no doubt their bills will be astronomical, which is only going to lead to more money stress, says the source. PK and Dorrit first announced their separation in an Instagram post in May 2024. We as a couple have been subject to a lot of speculation about our marriage. We have had our struggles over the last few years and continue to work through them as two people who love each other and share two amazing children together. To safeguard our deep friendship and maintain a harmonious environment for our children, we have made the mutual and difficult decision to take some time apart and reevaluate our relationship while we prioritize our children, they wrote. We appreciate your love and support while we continue to do the work necessary throughout this journey. A Kemsley Chronicle, a New York Minute. The crisp autumn air of New York City bit at Paul P.K. Kemsley's cheeks, a welcome sting that cut through the lingering haze of London's perpetual dampness, and more pressingly, the suffocating weight of his own complicated reality. He pulled the collar of his army green coat tighter, the soft cotton of his white t-shirt a stark contrast to the rugged exterior. Dark pants and fresh sneakers completed the ensemble, a deliberate choice for anonymity, yet one that always seemed to fail him. He was, after all, P.K. Kemsley, a name now inextricably linked to reality television, a public separation, and, most recently, a string of ill-timed, highly photographed outings. Beside him, a mystery blonde, her laughter a light, melodic chime against the city's roar, pulled her black motorcycle jacket tighter. Her jeans, a perfect fit, shimmered faintly under the streetlights, catching the gleam of her silver heels. She was new, uncomplicated, a breath of fresh air that hadn't yet been tainted by the Kemsley drama. And for a fleeting moment, as they navigated the bustling sidewalk, PK felt a lightness he hadn't experienced in years. More than a year. It had been more than a year since the carefully worded Instagram post, the public declaration of taking some time apart. More than a year of living in a nebulous space between married and divorced, a purgatory of legal documents, whispered rumors, and the constant, gnawing anxiety of financial entanglement. Dorrit, bless her heart, had stated her focus was on the children, not dating, a noble stance, he conceded, but one he couldn't quite emulate. His approach was different. His approach was survival. And sometimes, survival meant seeking out moments of uncomplicated joy, even if they were under the ever-present lens of public scrutiny. He glanced at the blonde, her profile illuminated by a passing taxi's headlights. She was beautiful, vibrant, and mercifully, blissfully unaware of the full extent of the storm brewing around him. He wondered, not for the first time, if it was fair to bring anyone into his orbit. But then the loneliness would creep in, a cold, persistent ache that no amount of business deals or fleeting distractions could truly numb. Tonight, in this vibrant, indifferent city, he just wanted to be Paul, a man enjoying a night out, not PK, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star navigating a messy divorce. Ghosts of relationships past. The flash of a camera, barely perceptible, made PK flinch. He had grown accustomed to it, a phantom limb of his public life, but it still grated. He knew what tomorrow's headlines would scream. PK Kemsley moving on with new woman. The words already tasted stale on his tongue. It wasn't moving on, not really. It was trying. Trying to find solid ground in a world that felt like quicksand. Just weeks ago, it had been Amanda Cronin, the Real Housewives of London star, a vivacious woman with a sharp wit. The tabloids had had a field day, accusing him of flirting. He denied it, of course. A friendly chat, a shared laugh over drinks, nothing more. But in the court of public opinion, a denial was often just fuel for the fire. He remembered the sting of Dorrit's lawyer's email, a subtle jab about his public conduct, as if he were a schoolboy caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And before Amanda, there had been Shauna Wall. That had been truly awkward. Shauna, who had attended his wedding to Dorrit, a witness to a day that now felt like a lifetime ago, a dream that had slowly, painstakingly unraveled. Their encounter had been brief, a chance meeting, but the paparazzi had been there, lurking, always lurking. A kiss, a fleeting moment of shared history, blown up into a scandalous affair. He'd felt a pang of guilt then, not for the act itself, but for the inevitable pain it would cause Dorrit, and more importantly, the children. He knew the narrative. PK, the playboy, flitting from one woman to the next, while his wife bravely navigated single motherhood. It was a narrative he despised, yet one he seemed powerless to change. He sighed, the sound lost in the urban cacophony. He wasn't a playboy. He was a man adrift, trying to find his bearings after the shipwreck of his marriage. Each new face, each fleeting connection, was less about romance and more about a desperate search for normalcy, for a moment where he wasn't defined by the past. But the past, it seemed, was a relentless shadow, stretching long and dark behind him, always catching up. The financial quagmire, the true battle, the one that gnawed at his insides and stole his sleep, wasn't fought in the tabloids or on Instagram. It was waged in the sterile, fluorescent-lit offices of lawyers, over spreadsheets and legal documents. The divorce, as Briefing on Bravo had so accurately reported, had devolved into a brutal war over finances. They've been very secretive about it, but clearly money issues have been plaguing them for some time. The insider's words, quoted in Life and Style, echoed in his mind, a painful truth he had tried to keep hidden, even from himself. The tax bills, a monstrous, ever-growing beast, had been a silent killer of their marriage. And then there was the house, their $7.9 million home, a gilded cage that now felt like a millstone around his neck. And now they are going to war with each other over money, the source continued. A war, that's exactly what it felt like. A trench warfare of accusations and demands. Dorrit is requesting financial support, despite being a full-time Bravo star, and he's hit back and is trying to get a piece of her TV earnings. He remembered the conversation with his lawyer, the cold, hard logic of it all. She's earning a substantial income, Paul. It's only fair that her contributions are considered. Fair? What was fair in this mess? He had poured his life, his energy, his very being into their shared ventures, into building a life that, from the outside, looked like a fairy tale. Now it was crumbling, and the cost of its demolition was astronomical. The legal bills alone were enough to make his head spin. Each email, each phone call, each hour spent in negotiation, added another layer of debt to an already precarious financial situation. They are both insisting they're the ones in the right and digging in their heels. Now their lawyers will have to fight it out, and no doubt their bills will be astronomical, which is only going to lead to more money stress, the source had concluded. More money stress. It was a cruel irony. The very thing tearing them apart was also bleeding them dry, ensuring that even if they emerged from this, they would be financially scared. He ran a hand through his hair, a gesture of weary resignation. The blonde beside him, oblivious to the internal turmoil, squeezed his arm playfully. He forced a smile, a practiced mask he wore for the cameras, for the public, and increasingly for himself. The announcement's echo. We as a couple have been subject to a lot of speculation about our marriage. The words, carefully chosen, meticulously crafted, flashed through his mind. May 2024, just over a year ago. The Instagram post that had shocked some, confirmed suspicions for others, and had been, for him and Dorrit, a desperate attempt to control the narrative.